In this video, we are going to talk about groom. So for that, we are going to use Xgen. So I will just simply add a default sphere and I will scale this a little bit so that it is visible. Now I will go to my front view and I will delete the bottom faces. So this will represent as our head. So we are going to add hairs on our head. So I will go to perspective view again. Just I will smooth these ones. And now make sure that you are in modeling tab. And one more thing that might be important is that you have to go to display, then heads up display, and then Xgen info. So what this will do is it will give you the information about your Xgen, like what is your GPU memory and how many splines do you have in your scene, like on top of this head how many splines do you have. So now make sure you are in modeling tab and select your mesh, select your object, then click on generate, then here click on create interactive groom splines. So now you can see we got some weird stuff over here and it is very thick, that's why it is not looking like hair. So now in workspace we will click on this tab and we will click on Xgen interactive groom. So now we have this tab over here. So now we will see what and all is there in description 1. So here we have, if I click on this plus icon, we have sculpt, scale and description 1 base. So we will see what we have in sculpt. Here we have sculpt layer 1. So now we will see what and all tool settings we have in description 1. So here we can see we have width scale. So we will see what happens if we increase or decrease this amount. So if we increase, the thickness of our splines is increasing. If we decrease, the thickness will decrease. So I think this width is enough for, okay, I will keep it as 0.15, and now as you can see the amount of splines is very less, so we have to increase the amount of spline as well. So we will say that little bit later. First we will see all the settings that we have in description 1. So here after width scale we have taper or tapper. So we will see what happens if I increase or decrease the amount of tapper. So if I increase, you can see it is getting pointier, and if I decrease, you can see it is getting thick at the top of the spline. So I will keep it in this amount like 8.37, and now we have just below that tapper start. So this is basically from where the tapper will start. So as you can see over here, from the middle the width is increasing, so we will keep it somewhat in this amount. 600 will do, 0.600. So now here we have density brush and we have density multiplier in our generator. So in description 1 base we have a density brush, density multiplier. So we will see what happens in that. So we are now over here. So if I just scroll down, we will get this also, and this is like descriptions 1 shape. You will get with scale, tapper and tapper start. In description 1 base you will get your density multiplier. In sculpt tab you will get mask and all. So this is not that important, and there is not much settings that we have to do over here in this settings. We can do the settings from here as well. So in scale we have the amount of scale. So first we will see what is there in scale. So now if I increase the amount of scale, you can see it is increasing in the length. So if I decrease this, it will decrease in the length. So for now I will keep it in this amount 1.178, and now I will go to description 1 base. Now I want more amount of hair should appear on my mesh, so I will increase the density from the density multiplier. So as you can see, when I move it nothing is happening, but when I will leave, then the difference we can see. So if you do it too much, it won't look realistic. So we will like just reduce, we will keep some decent amount, maybe 50, or we will go down a little bit, maybe 26 is enough, or we'll go to 20. Yeah, we will keep this as 20. So here, as I said earlier, we have density brush over here, so we will see the brush settings little bit later. And now in sculpt layer we have this settings, and we have this edit, and it is like colored in red. So why is that? So if you add one more sculpt layer, so now you have sculpt layer 1 and sculpt layer 2. So now as you can see, the sculpt layer 1 edit is in red color and sculpt layer 2 edit is in gray color. So that means whatever you are going to do on this mesh will come in sculpt layer 1. And now if you want to do any sculpting, like as you can see over here, any changes you want to do, so you have to click on edit here in sculpt layer 2. So whatever changes, whatever things you will do now will come in this layer. It's just like Photoshop, you can work with layers. So now I don't want this layer, so I will just right click and delete. So now we will see some of the settings with brush. I will go to description one and I will go to my brush settings. So now I'm going to tell you about like what are the most of the brushes used. So we will see, first we will see density tool. So if you just keep your cursor, it will show you what it does. So density tool adds or removes hairs. So you will see what it does. So if I click on this, you can see one little circle has appeared over here and density brush activated. So now if I just click and drag, you can see the amount of hairs are adding over here. That means it will just add more splines. And here in Xgen splines, as you can see, if I just do drag and click and drag, you can see the amount is increasing over here as well. So now if you want to remove some of the splines, you can just hold Ctrl, click and just drag here and there. So now you can see the splines are getting decreased. So this is how you can increase or decrease the amount of splines. So this is what density brush is used for. So now if you want to add hair splines in a large area, so what you can do is just press B on your keyboard and just click and drag. So you can see the changes in the circle. Now I can add more amount of hair in the large area. So if I want more area should be covered, I will just increase the brush size. And now one more thing is that if you want to change brush type, you can just hold shift and right click. Now here you have brushes like grab, freeze, clump, noise, comb, smooth, part, length. So we are going to see these brushes in this tab as well. So now we are going to see this length tool. So length tool lengthens or shortens hair uniformly without modifying their shape. So we will see what it does. So I will increase my brush size so that we can see it more clearly what this brush will do. So now if I click over here, so as you can see, my hair is coming out. The portion where I have kept my brush, it is just pulling it out. So I can just increase the length of my splines, increase the length of my hairs. So this is what it does. So now I will just decrease the brush size and I will increase little amount of hair over here. So now we will see the next brush, that is cut tool. Cut tool trims hairs that interact with the brush radius. So now I will select on this cut tool and now you can see the area where I have kept my mouse, the area is highlighted. So now if I just simply click, that area will be cut. So you can use this to just cut your hair, cut your splines. So this is what cut brush does. We'll just go back. So now we will see our next brush, weight tool. It will just increase. This is not that important, you can just do the settings from here. I will select the comb brush. So now what comb brush will do is it will simply comb your hair. So you can just keep your mouse over here and it will tell you what this brush will do. Changes the orientation and blend of hairs in the direction of the brush stroke. So we will see what does it do. So as you can see, now my hair is combing. I'll increase the brush size, and now as you can see, my hair went inside my mesh. So how can I solve that? So I will just click on my brush and I will go to tool settings. So tool settings, we have brush settings. So in brush settings, we will click on collide with meshes. We will check this box, and now if I comb my hair, you can see it is coming properly on my mesh. So this is what comb brush will do. Now we will see the next brush is our grab tool. Grab tool selects and moves hairs based on the direction and distance you drag. So we will see what does that do. So as you can see, it is grabbing certain amount of hair, and I can create some shapes with hair over here. So this will just grab certain amount of hair, and you can just move those hair stripes or those splines. So we will see our next brush, the smooth brush. Smooth tool straightens hairs and smooths transitions between hair of different size and shapes. So we will see what does it do. So just clicking on our smooth brush activated. So you can see that it will just adjust the hairs which are closer to the brush, closer to the area where I am placing my brush. So it will just adjust it and it will just smooth it. Like if I have some hairs that are getting out of this mesh or out of the area where I'm using the smooth tool, it will just smooth that outer hair along with the area where I'm smoothing. So as you can see, I'm just smoothing my hair. So now we will see what the clump tool does. Pulls hairs together to form clumps. So it is like you are forming a ponytail. So for this I will use my length brush and I will just do this. And now I will use my clump tool and we will see what happens. So you can see it is clumping it together. It is joining those hair together. So it is like you can use this for ponytails, or it is like just you are taking your hair together and you are tying a rubber band to it. So now we will see what does a noise brush do. So noise brush paints 3D noise to vary hair orientation, making hair appear more natural. So it is like we have some curly hairs in our head. So we have some curly hairs, we have some straight hairs, we have some mixture of hairs. Some guys have silky hairs, some guys have all curly hairs. So we will see what does the noise brush do. So I will just increase the size of my brush so that we can see it more clearly. So now again we have that same issue. So we will go to tool settings, collide with meshes. So now as you can see, I will just click on my noise brush activated. So now you can see it is adding noise and it is becoming, my hair is becoming curlier. So these are some of the brushes that we get with Xgen. So now we will see what we can do with our add modifier. So in add modifier we can do the same things like noise, clump, and like lengthen, we can do lengthen, everything we can do. We will see what and all options we have over here. I will click on this, then we have clump, collision, cut, displacement, guide, linear wire, noise, scale, sculpt. So we have, so now we will we have everything that is present over here. Not everything actually, the brushes. So we will see what noise does. So this is just like we are adding a noise layer above this sculpt layer. So now I will just drag this down. So whatever is below this, it will add noise to that. So now I will keep this again up, so whatever is below this, it will add to that. So now what I will do is I will delete this noise, and as you can see here the changes has happened. So now I will create a new sculpt layer. I will just create and I will rename this as noise. So now we will see about add layers. So if I will add layer over here, so you can see layer to added. So I will just rename this as noise. Now I will activate this layer by clicking on edit. So now this layer has been activated. Now if I do any changes in this layer, and now if I go this eye icon, I can see whatever changes I did in this layer won't be coming in this sculpt layer 1. So if you want to just try some things, if you want to try things that won't be applied on your main layer, you can just add one new layer and you can just try things. So this is how you can add hairs on your mesh. So this is how Xgen works. Thank you.